It's a blessing. Like I said, in the spring and in the summer, it was my goal to be a captain, and I'm a believer that you gotta speak things into existence. You got goals. You look at them every day. You got to write them down. You got to tell yourself that it's a real opportunity, and it was a blessing to be able to be picked captain on this team. Not to say it caught me by surprise, but because I knew last year I've been one of the more leaders in this team, better leaders in this team. But I told all the other leaders on this team, just because I have the title of a captain doesn't mean you're any less of a leader, and just because I have the title of captain doesn't mean I'm any more of a leader. We're all going to lead the same way. Just because I have the captain's title doesn't mean Cam Jurgens doesn't have a voice anymore. Cam Jurgens coulda, shoulda, woulda been a captain. Like he's still one of the better leaders on the team. Travis Vokalek, he's gonna have a voice still, and that's the thing I preach to them. It's still our team. Just because I run out of the tunnel first doesn't mean those guys are going to be quiet now. We all have the same mission in mind, and that begins next week in Illinois.
Have you seen the depth develop in your room behind you? And does it become more real? There was a little panic around here the one practice people saw where you and Travis weren't out there. Does it become real? Those guys, they got to be ready.
Mm-hmm. That's the kind of the way their practices are set up. It's next man up. Whether I rolled my ankle one day, whether somebody has said and so injury, it's next man up. Whether Adrian, God forbid, doesn't happen, something happens to him week one, next man up. That's the way kind of coaches practice goes. But it's fall camp's fall camp. You're gonna have little nicks here and there, but it wasn't necessarily a thing. I'm not gonna get into injuries, but it was a grind in fall camp. I'll just say that. Every fall camp's a grind, so it's just the way it goes.
Have you seen some guys come along though in your room?
Yeah, Hickman. We've put that kid through a lot. Tell him he's coming as a tight end. Tell him he's a receiver. Coming back to a tight end. It's a lot on a body to try and put on weight, lose weight, put on weight. But he's embraced that, and I think has the best understanding of the offense because he's seen it from every different angle now. But he's doing really great things, and same with Nate Borkcher. He's a name I always bring up in interviews just because he's a hard worker. He's gonna give you what you got. He's smart in this offense. And the last name I'll bring up is Chance Brewington. We brought him over from receiver and just been hitting the ground running. He's very smart. I think what helps him and guys who transfer in, they have an understanding of what it takes to learn a collegiate offense and collegiate playbook, and I think that's what helped him step into the role he has so far. And Chance is going to help us this year. He's a baller, but all across the board, guys are stepping up that are young, and it's good to see.
How has player leadership maybe evolved the last 3-4 years? You've been here since 2017. How do you feel like it's evolved to the point where maybe you guys can put out some fires that don't get to the coaches?
Yeah, making me feel old there. But I think the biggest step we've taken as players this year is taking things under our wing. It's unless otherwise directed, the players are going to lead this way. Unless Frost wants us to go this direction, we're going to lead this way. And I think that's the biggest step we've taken in the sense that Damian Jackson, he's in charge of accountability. If I see something at practice that I don't like, I'm going to say, you're on accountability here with Damian after practice. And I think that's the biggest step we've taken is like you said, putting out fires before they even get to Frost, because Frost has everything he's got to deal with. The head coach, it's leadership from the top down. There's only so much that he can lead, or only so much he can take care of from the top, and there's things that he shouldn't take care of that the players are now taking care of, and that's kind of our mentality now that we're going to win football games, and I think that's going to stem from how we handle as players stuff that Frost shouldn't have to take care of.
How tough is that balance though? Because you want your teammates to like you, but you also be a voice of authority as well.
Yeah, it's tough. It's college football. Nobody's really here to make friends and sing kumbaya. It's Big Ten power football. You could be the worst enemies on the practice field, but once you step off and in the locker room, we're still brothers, we're still teammates, and I think that's the message we're trying to get across is I'm gonna beat the crap out of this guy on the D-line on the scout team, and hopefully I can come in the locker room and dap him up and see how his day's going. But that's the biggest thing we got to get across is we're still brothers at the end of the day, but on the field it's a battle, it's a war.
Hey, Austin, how excited are guys for the stage this week, being really the biggest game of the day, the only real national televised game on or on Fox?
Yeah, I really wish I was on a plane to Ireland right now, but circumstances bearing, we're going to Illinois. But it is a week 0 game. It's all eyes are on us, and I think that's an opportunity for all of us to showcase who we are as a football team and how far we've come as leaders on the team, showing the world what our team leaders have done. It doesn't necessarily always have to be Frost telling us what we need to get accomplished. It's on us to get it done. But I'm really excited to get the season kicked off on the right foot at Illinois. It's week 0, like you said, and we're the Big Ten. We're the big noon kickoff. So hopefully we can get things done for all you guys and for all the fans, because we owe them one.
How important is it to kick it off on the right foot? I mean, you look at the openers the last handful of years, and it's been maybe slower starts than you guys want. What's the value of starting strong that can carry on into the rest of the game?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me this year too is not setting a goal as we're going to win 10 games, we're going to win 6 games, we're going to go to a bowl game. We're taking every game like it's the championship game, and the championship game for us is Illinois this week. And I think that's the biggest change in my vision that I'm going to see is I'm going to handle that like it's the Big Ten championship next week, and then after that we're going to play Fordham. Fordham's going to be the championship game of the week, and that's the mentality I think I'm going to bring to the table, and I'm going to kind of disperse across my peers.
Hey, Austin, when it came to the team leadership, how did you guys handle the vaccination situation? And it's kind of a touchy situation with that amongst players.
Yeah, I mean, it is a touchy situation, and I don't want to dive too much into it. But I mean, COVID's here. COVID's going to stay, and there's not much we can do about it. And if they say a vaccination is the best way that we can play football without any interruptions, then I mean, why not? I mean, there's guys that have their reasons to not get it, and I'm not going to dive into those reasons. I mean, I'm not going to tell a guy you have to get it as a leader. I'm not going to tell you guys that you don't have to get it. I mean, it's if a player wants to have a season with minimal interruption, go get the vaccine. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to say one way or another whether a player has to get it, and I'm not going to talk about who has and who hasn't. But that's all I really got to say about that.
How much did it play that, I guess the Big Ten looking at it, if you guys can't field the team, you forfeit. How much did that play into, I guess people's decisions and stuff?
I mean, it's kind of similar to last year in the sense that, I mean, COVID's here and there's not really much we can really do about it. I mean, you can take precautions, you can wear masks, but Big Ten necessarily hasn't given us a direct way they want to do things, I don't think. But I mean, it's football at the end of the day. Whether 3 guys have to sit out because of COVID tracing or whatever, I mean, like I said earlier, it's next man up, and we're prepared that way.